about January 6th and Ashley Babbitt, and that's such a great point. When Ashley Babbitt was breaking into the congressional chamber, they act like she's a martyr and this was like an insane use of force, etc. And those same people now turn around and are like, oh, of course it was justified. Yeah, of course this was self-defense.
Now,
if you don't do exactly what the law says, what they tell you, then you deserve to be murdered.
Now, my view of this thing is that, in the eyes of the general public, I do think this goes too far, and I know you weren't totally in agreement with me on that, right?
No, I mean, I think the majority of people will disagree with it. Will find it abhorrent. I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be 60-40. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say 30. Right, 35. That's 35% are still supporting Trump now after everything was fucking done.
Yeah.
You know? But, I mean, I feel like that bodes for me, not I don't want to make this about electoral politics, but I really do think it's evidence of there's going to be this just insane wave of backlash, you know? Because I think a lot of people are feeling like I'm feeling, which is I got many criticisms of the Democrats. I got a lot of criticisms of the Democrats, but when you look at what these people are, I mean, they're like satanic, like literally. These people are satanic. They're satanic. They're satanic.
I mean,
there's
everything.
no way to describe it. Yeah, they think they're reality. They think they're morality.
Yes,
Wait,
exactly.
what's immoral is actually moral. You know?
Yep. I see, protests are expanding.
Are you talking about in Minnesota or beyond? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, in Minneapolis. I wonder if it's going to be like global, or not global, but like, countrywide protests now as a result of that. When Trump kidnapped Maduro and did regime change, pretty quickly there were people all over the White House. It was pretty fucking quickly.
Don't push your luck.
They're begging for an anti-ICE movement similar to what BLM looks like. They're begging for that. And it's going to be a whole lot of fucking professors and accountants and lawyers and service workers and blue-collar people. It's going to be a lot of people who would be out there in this scenario. Because, and by the way, a lot of people have personal experience with this too. All the cities that they've done this at. I always talk about it on my show. People fucking tear gassed a baby and assaulted an 84-year-old couple and have already run over people with their cars. This is thousands of people have died in custody already, and at least one of them was potentially raped. So, this is what we're talking about, and I think a lot of people are onto that now. So,
What happened on
right.
Imagine you're in detention.
And they would
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine.
They give them dirty water. I mean, it's literally like Seacon. Give them dirty water. Give them arrest. And people have died because they haven't done their best.
One of the highest death rates in high school. Detention. And no surprise.
Yep, that's right.
I gotta wrap up my show, babe.
You got nothing else left? No.
I don't see anything too new.
I was hoping that we would get
The name of that. I haven't seen that yet.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. Some terrible, terrible updates for you, but yeah, we'll see, man. In a world that made sense, this guy it would happen in a world that made sense, but
I mean, he'd already be arrested.
Exactly.
And the government would be acting like they'd be doing the whole dance about like, oh, he's a bad apple, Like, oh, that's not all I say. That they'd be doing that tap dance. That would be the normal approach. Just like, well, there's, one bad apple. Don't let them spoil the lot, whatever. But no.
And they're not even giving us that anymore.
Not even
Nope.
No, they just, literally, they will defend anything these dudes do. Anything. Anything.
Complete depraved sociopaths. So now you're going to have to hear lectures about how this woman didn't break the law. Somehow was violating law and order, while meanwhile fucking Epstein's best friend who's on video committing sex crimes and underage girls, somehow he's the one following the law. So, just, hell man, live in hell.
It's been 5 days since America invaded Venezuela, arrested
I'm sorry, I read that wrong. I meant narrative building.
The bottom line is we now have freedom in Venezuela.
I have so many Venezuelan friends. They are crying tears of joy.
This is their first real opportunity to
You're in for a little shock.
freedom. Listen, people smell freedom in the air, and they can thank Donald J. Trump.
That's right, Trump is stinking up the joint with freedom. Can you smell it? It's just crop dusting our hemisphere of democracy. Breathe it in, people.
Looks like I got carried away.
People are in charge of their own destiny. Let's see exactly what kind of freedom they have won.
President Donald Trump announced that Venezuela will be giving the U.S. 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to be sold.
This oil will be sold at its market price, and the money will be controlled by me as President of the United States of America.
Okay, look. Say what you want about his corruption. At least Trump is hands-on. Cheney had to funnel it through Halliburton or whatever. But Donald Trump is like, yo, just give me the oil. I'll open the gas pump outside the Oval Office. Okay, just come drive right up, but no Amex. So yes, Venezuela has agreed to hand over approximately $2 billion worth of oil to the United States out of the goodness of their hearts and because they are loving them. Which seems harsh, but you know what? A little bit of oil money, President Trump, is a small price to pay for illegally kidnapping the president. And now that this payoff is taken care of, America will get out of your hair. Goodbye forever, Venezuela. You're finally free.
The U.S. now is imposing a military blockade on its oil exports, using it as leverage to get Venezuela to give in to the Trump administration's demands. The U.S. has conveyed to the interim leader of Venezuela that she must agree to partner exclusively with the U.S. on oil production and kick out officials from China, Russia, Iran, and Cuba, severing all economic ties with those countries.
I think we all know what's going on. Ladies, when your new boyfriend forces you to cut ties with all of your friends, he's a keeper. Sorry, it kind of feels like Trump wants to be the new dictator of Venezuela, but that can't be right. Right?
We obviously have maximum leverage over the interim authorities. Their decisions are going to continue to be dictated by the United States of America.
Okay, I know how that sounds, but just because you dictate doesn't make you a dictator. Okay? Because no, it doesn't. Because dictators, they live in like a gold palace or something. And to any Venezuelans looking for advice on how to get rid of Donald Trump, we have no idea. But I can tell you one thing that doesn't work. Satire. Doesn't do shit. But if you're in a country in the area and this sounds like a good deal, well, good news. You're next.
This is the start of changing Venezuela, then we're going to fix Cuba, and Nicaragua will be fixed. Next year we'll get a new president in Colombia, and democracy is coming back to this hemisphere.
Okay, first of all, congratulations to this guy on surviving the Ark of the Covenant. And second, look, okay, the world is a messed up place. If an oil rampage is what it takes to spread democracy, maybe that's what it takes, okay? Stop being such babies. So which of these tyrannical dictatorships are we going after next?
President Trump and his team are also targeting a northern ally of the U.S. with new threats to take over Greenland.
That's right, Greenland. Because the only thing we hate more than a brutal authoritarian regime is whatever the complete opposite of that is. There's just one little hitch with invading Greenland.
Denmark, which controls the independent territory, is a close NATO ally. The Danish Prime Minister has said a U.S. attack on NATO territory would effectively end the alliance, which has never seen one member attack another.
Great, okay, that means they won't expect it. It's the definition of a sneak attack, okay? The point is we need Greenland. Why? For their freedom, or their oil, or for national defense. Look, I don't remember what excuse we're using. But, okay, this congressman, he'll explain.
It's important that we have a stake in Greenland. When you look at the Western Hemisphere, we are the dominant predator, quite frankly, force in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, Trump is the dominant predator in the Western Hemisphere. At least now that Jeffrey Epstein is dead. For more on America's plans, in Venezuela, we go live to Caracas with Michael Costa. Michael, how are Venezuelans reacting to this extortion?
Extortion? Oh, Ronnie. What America is doing here is legitimate international business. Trump is simply offering Venezuela protection from dictators and foreign enemies, and in exchange, they give him money for that protection. Capiche?
Michael, that's the business model of the mafia. You're describing the mafia.
The mafia? Oh! Stugats! This is not the mob. This is just Venezuela tucking an envelope of cash into Donald Trump's pocket every week. Because it would be a real shame if they forgot to pay and their economy blew up when it turned on its card.
Okay. Everything you're describing is what the mob does, okay? You're even dressed like you're in the mob.
Come a little closer.
All right, fine. Maybe America is a little bit of a mafia thing. So what? The mafia is molto bene. You get to wear nice suits. You skip the line at the Copa. And you get to kiss guys on the lips when they betray you. And you get to drink from fancy little cups. Salute.
Look, okay, Costa, it's a little late in the day to be drinking espresso.
This is crude oil. As my Nona used to say, and that's a spicy diesel fuel.
I've seen any mafia movies, it never ends well for them.
Name one mob movie that doesn't end well.
Don't be such a brute.
Name two.
The Godfather 2.
Name three.
The Godfather 3.
Name six more.
Well, all those Scorsese movies and The Sopranos.
Technically, we don't know how The Sopranos ends. Well, we know Tony is still at the strip club eating gabagool, getting a lap dance from a girl wearing a bikini made of gabagool.
Costa, I know it's great to live by lawless mob rules when you have power, but what's to stop someone bigger from doing all this mafia shit on us?
Ronnie, your brain is like a cannoli with no filling. If that happens to America, we'll just turn state witness. I'm already wearing a wire.
What? No, this isn't TV, okay? If we abandon international law, we will stop the next superpower from extorting us once our run as an empire is over.
Name one time an empire's come to an end.
One time, the Romans, the British, the Germans, Mongolians, Ottomans.
Stop making places up, Ronnie. And trust me, this is not gonna happen this time.
Oh, really? Why not?
Because there's only one way for all this Venezuela stuff to end. And that is...
He sopranoed me. God damn it. Michael Costa, everyone.
You're in for a little shock.